can watch my kitty fluff the blanket and listen to her purr as I talk. So, a friend of mine had been talking because I had bought some herbs. And gonna start with growing them. Hopefully it turns back out to where I got a green thumb again. I have faith that I will. They will start, they'll continue to grow, I should say. And talk to her about not only that, but doing some jarring. Get ready to start jarring. That's something she has never done. She's never jarred food before. Personally, I enjoy it. And she's never done her own sauce and things like that. It's something I've done. And to be honest with you, if you do your sauce, you must put your jars, fill them with hot water, and keep them filled with hot water, and put them in a saucepan, just something. Even the kitchen sink is what I do, with hot water in a kitchen sink as hot as possible. Let them sit like that for maybe 5 minutes or whatever. Then you empty them. Wear gloves. It's going to be hot. And you dump your sauce into the jar. Put your lid on your jar, almost tight, but not quite all the way. Push the lid down so that, that popping part. Push the middle of the lid down. You're going to need jeans or something on. A towel even works. Put it between your legs and screw that lid on super tight. When you're done doing that, turn the jar upside down and let it sit. I personally put the jar on the floor and let it sit. Now, this is something I've done with tomato sauce. People would say, oh, you can't do that. You got to boil it. You do what you want to. This is a trick that I just did, and it worked. Not only did I try the sauce first, my sister's like, you're trying to kill people. No, I tried the sauce first. It turned out freaking amazing. I put sugar in my sauce. Oh, it's how my grandma made it. And I also put feta cheese in. When you're using sauce, remember, tomatoes have such a high content of acid in it that you do not need nothing with it. You can actually quite possibly put cooked meat in it, I wouldn't doubt, and do the same thing. Now, I know hunters, sorry for those that don't hunt for their food, and ones that don't eat meat also, but for those that eat meat, they would boil their deer meat with all kinds of seasonings like the salt, the pepper, whatever seasonings they wanted, and do the same thing. Put the liquid in it, but put their meat in a jar. Back when I would eat that, I was given a jar of it. Oh my gosh. I'm not joking. Some good stuff. So, just as a helpful tip, if you can do some jarring, I'm not saying be prepared for craziness. What I am saying is we have the opportunity to go back to old ways. Not all old ways, but back to basics. And I think it'll be a wonderful thing for us all if we can learn a new trait, share it with somebody, I've been getting some helpful hints myself in getting back into the the cooking wanting to cook and stuff. I've been on such a vegetable diet that I kind of steered away from a lot of things, and even though I'm not going to eat that stuff, does not mean that I can't do it for somebody else. And as I was having that thought, I'm like, oh my gosh, Joan, when you were young, you were taught the barter system. I was told it's going to be, to never forget it. And I've always told people, don't get too hung up on money. Don't forget about the barter system. And it's just something I prefer to do. For one, you don't fill landfills up with what you're not using no more. So you're saving Mother Earth, which is a beautiful thing. And two, with the barter system, something you're not using no more could be extremely valuable to somebody else that is in need of it. Right down to a blanket or a pillow. I have a bunch of pillows. Well, I had a bunch of pillows. I gave them to the Goodwill. But I have a lot of blankets because some of them I favor so much that I just couldn't resist. And especially having family or kids over, sometimes you can never have enough. What I'm getting at is, especially now when we can't get rid of nothing, besides throwing it away, and I can't get myself to do it. Not yet, at least, because I don't want to fill landfills up with stuff that we can use. Again, the Goodwills are closed and won't take nothing. You can get fined for even dropping stuff off. Because they don't want to turn into a garbage dump. And, I'm graciously pleased about that. But what I'm getting down, my biggest point is, for those of us that know how to cook and jar, what a beautiful way to share your time with your family. To do that, if you're alone, what a beautiful time to start doing it. And when all of this lifts and we can communicate more one-on-one with each other, how nice would it be to say, hey, here's a jar of food, and within your community or your circle, and they've done crafts themselves, or they've done something, jarred something, or etc., which is not a bad idea, everybody. Everybody do their favorite jarring of foods and then do a food swap afterwards. Then again, maybe it might not be a great idea. But you are boiling everything and everything is going to be so darn hot. Who knows? My point being, though, is once all this lifts and cleans up and clears out, the bartering system might end up being one of the best ways for us to remind ourselves that there is other ways. Yes, the financial part of it, money aspect of it, there's going to be people that are aren't going to have it. They're going to want cash, and cash is gold kind of thing. Actually, I have two family members that, bless their hearts, but I crack jokes with my brother that literally you could drop him. I told him he needs to sign up for Naked and Afraid, and his teenage daughter, made a comment, "What would you do about the girlfriend, Dad?" And I laughed and I told his daughter, I said, your dad is the kind of person that you could drop him off and he has no worries. I said, and you wouldn't see your dad again because you tell the girlfriend, listen, I'm right behind you. There's the vehicle. I said that you would turn the other way and take out the book it and you would never find him. But he's the kind of person that could survive. That man hand fishes. But the whole, there's so much I want to say, but it's just, it's like it's right there, but it's like, no, no, no. Let's stay on a more positive note and keep trucking forward on the highest note you can. But for those out there that can take what I'm saying, expand on it, and share it with their many more subscribers than what I got going on, I would greatly appreciate it, because to me, that's paying it forward, and it's a major blessing. A major blessing. I started out doing really good in the beginning of all this, being the best cheerful person I could be, and then felt like people were throwing bricks at me. I probably deserved it because I was doing so good, and I really do want to apologize if I hurt anybody's feelings in a deep sense. But yeah, there's so much going on, and you know what? The mothers are quite blessed to have their families. Anybody that's stuck with the family, and I don't mean it by stuck, but you got a family where you're functioning together. Many blessings, and many more blessings to those that are trying to all come to the same page, whether you're supposed to be on the same page or not. Holding your shit together and taking care of business. That's super freaking fantastic. But again, many blessings, everyone. And may you continue to have the best future possible. Truly. Whether it be jarring food, helping somebody to understand what life's about, just being there for a phone call. Anything and everything means something. Much appreciated for listening.